is good, my ninjas? This is your boy Majin AN. Tired right now, making this FANTage video for the NFC East edition. No, for the NFC edition. Now we're in the NFC South, where the reigning champs are. So I'll start with the reigning champs ourselves, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that is filled with the most fantasy value. They have the biggest fantasy value of all teams. They have too much fantasy value in that team. It's wild. Now we start off with Tom Brady, the GOAT himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Tom Brady. Tom Brady must start this season. He's been on a roll and he's been on fire these past 6 games. It doesn't matter. He is must start. You. Yeah, I'm sorry, I blanked out. But yeah, Tom Brady must start territory. No, Tom Brady must start. Absolute must start. He is the #1 QB in fantasy football right now, so that says a lot. Must start. The GOAT, the ageless wonder. Yeah. As for the wide receiving core, nothing but must starts. It is the most stacked receiving core in the league. All must starts if given the opportunity. Let's see. First, we go with Mike Evans. Must start. Very good receiver. Don't need to say much. Chris Godwin, must start. Don't even need to say much. Third, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is sometimes is in the board. No, man. Sometimes he's in the startable and must start territory. But I think Antonio Brown's must start at this point. So all 3 of their wide receivers are must starts. So that's good. Scotty Miller, their occasional deep burner, is a good flex too. But yeah, it's now it's time for the running back, the tight ends. Gronk is back, and Gronk is a must start when he's healthy. Very good. And then there's Cameron Brate, who has good flex usage and has decent point usage not when Gronk is injured, and OJ Howard too. Decent point usage if he really applied to himself. Again, that yeah. OJ Howard has decent point usage too, if he's able to be used. But the Bucks are too stacked for OJ Howard to be like super fancy relevant. So yeah. As for the running backs, Leonard Fournette is the most fancy relevant running back for the Bucks. He's been doing well. He's starter territory. He's trying to he's startable and he's trying to enter must start territory. He's been doing good. Ronald Jones, he was in the hot seat for a while. You didn't want to like really use him in fantasy until you helped him get to his book. No, I mean, until you helped him. No, until he got into his groove. Again, I'm really sleepy and I'm just trying to record everything, so I apologize if I start like speaking nonsense. That's just my mind drifting to sleep. Anyways, yeah, Leonard Fournette, must start territory. Ronald Jones, stay away. And Giovanni Bernard, that's a Bengals fan. Love him. His time there. Giovanni Bernard is occasional flex because he has red zone usage and he does do pass. Like, he's great. As for the Bucks defense, must start. Even with the injuries, with the DBs and everything, must start. One of the best defenses in the league. That is a must start defense. Now we go to the Panthers. Also have some really good fantasy value. Sam Darnold Sam Darnold is a confusing case. It's like he broke the curse of Adam Gase and has been killing it. But in his last game, he played the worst game he's ever played this season. But I mean, it's the first, so you can't really fault him for that. But yeah, Sam Darnold was entering must-start territory. He might still be in must-start territory, but keep a close eye on him. If you have a better and more safer option as QB, use that option. But yeah, all I can say is, yeah, Sam Darnold just borderline must start if he keeps it up. Wide receivers, DJ Moore must start. He's definitely a must start. Been on a roll this season, along with Donald, his favorite target. Robbie Anderson, startable in certain games, flex for the most part because he and Donald haven't like super established their reconnection yet, so it's just then the tight end situation. They're using Isaiah Thomas or Elijah. I don't know their tight end, but he has last name Thomas. He's not going to be like super fancy relevant, but you can still observe. And then there's Tremble, their rookie tight end. So yeah, Tremble is someone you possibly need to watch out for, but tight ends aren't really like super used in that offense. But yeah, running back. Oh, this is where the fancy relevance is the strongest. Christian McCaffrey, Run CMC, one of the original unicorns from my early stages of fantasy football. Run CMC is a must start. He's not a must start. He is the must start when he's healthy. But that's the problem. When he's healthy, and if he's not healthy, it's good. I suggest you get his backup Chuba Hubbard in case for moments like this because it's the Panthers are a run heavy team like the Browns because their offense is centered nearly completely on Christian McCaffrey. So yeah, it's just Run CMC, the must start. Both can receive and run really good. Swifty, powerful. Yeah, must start. Chuba Hubbard, must start if Christian Christian McCaffrey is unable to play. So yeah, that's the offense for you. Now, the defense. The Panthers' defense is looking pretty good. They are startable. They're almost must start, but for now they are startable, so you got to keep an eye on them. It's not bad. Now, for the Saints. The Saints have a weird situation. This is the first season without Drew Brees, and Jameis Winston is like named their successor, and yeah. It is just Jameis Winston, famous Jameis, one of the biggest wild cards in the league, known for his scoring and his inaccurate picks, his costly inaccurate picks. His last season with his last season with the Bucs, he threw over 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. It was very infamous. However, things are starting to look slightly different at the Saints. He's been getting the help that he needs it the Saints. His passing game is pretty strong, but there are those moments where he still has turnovers. So we can't really truly come up with a conclusion and a observation for his use in New Orleans. He can either be startable, must start territory, or must start. He has the potential to be in any of those three. And until they figure out consistency, yeah, it's hard to determine Jameis Winston's fantasy usage if he's going to be a starter. Now for the receiving core. The Saints have like a weakened receiving core because Michael Thomas is still like sorry, losing my mind. Because Michael Thomas, their ace is in IR, so that's something. But when he's healthy, if he's healthy, he'll definitely be in the must start category. Right now, Marquez Callaway is flirting with in the must start territory. He's had games where he had back-to-back games where he's had a touchdown and was the lead receiver in the team, even with the slow starts. Deontay Harris has good flexibility because of his big play usage and his deep ball. And let's see. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I blanked out for a bit. But yeah, Marquez Callaway seems like the top target. Troutman is getting some usage too, and so is Juwan Johnson. But yeah, the situation at receiver is too chaotic right now with the Saints. You got to observe that a little bit more. And then there's Taysom Hill. You can't forget about Taysom Hill. Actually, we'll talk about Taysom Hill in another moment. Running back wise, Kamara, strong. Must start every time. Can receive and rush. Kamara is a great fantasy player to have and a must start. He is a must start. Tony Jones Jr. has some flex yardage, but he's decent. He doesn't have like super fancy usage unless Alvin Kamara is going through something. But yeah, Kamara is a must start. The Saints defense is now it's time for the Saints defense. The Saints defense is startable. It can actually be in the must start territory sometimes. Very good defense. Very matchup dependent, and their DBs are good. I thought I saw something crawling. My bad. I feel like I'm tripping, but I'm tired. Now it's time for the Falcons. The Dirty Birds. Ooh, the Dirty Birds. They have the most surprising fantasy value ever, so I can make this quick. Matt Ryan, he's not must start anymore, but he's startable, and he's occasionally flirts with the must start territory. Matt Ryan is still Matty Ice on occasion, so that's that. Let's see. Must start, but if you have a better option, start them. Wide receivers. Calvin Ridley is must start when he's healthy. Very good. Very good. Must start, startable. Easy. Calvin Ridley. And then Russell Gage hasn't been healthy this whole season, so we can't really gouge him. And what is another one? Olamide Zacchaeus. Flex territory. Not super relevant fantasy wise, so he's doable. And tight ends. Hayden Hurst, not much fantasy value there. not even as flex. Because of their first round pick in the most recent draft. The one and only Kyle Pitts, the greatest tight end prospect to enter the league in a long time. He's like, he had medium, like a slow start until the London game when he led the receiving core for over 100 yards and a touchdown, a couple of deep shots. So he's starting to seem fantasy relevant, especially if Ridley's out for more time. So yeah, Dirty Birds, wide receivers, Pitts and Ridley lead them. As for the running backs is actually the most promising thing about the Falcons' offense. Mike Davis is supposed to be the lead back due to his versatility as a receiving back and a decent runner, and his season in California, but he's been like moderate. He's on the startable because of his versatility. He's usually considered startable, not a must start, but he's considered startable. However, his co-running back is now the unicorn of this league, especially fantasy football wise. Legendary return specialist Cordero Patterson is now a fantasy football unicorn and is the unicorn. His rushing game has been decent and his receiving game has been phenomenal. But we all knew he was like this, but he's finally reaching his potential, which is pretty good. It's found the right team to do it with, and he's now in must-start territory to start. No, must-start territory to must-start. He's on that level. For 6 games, he's performed very well. So yeah, he's earned it. Mike Davis. We can't really go to Wayne Gallman because, yeah. Now it's time for the defense. Atlanta's defense is horrible. That's all I can tell you. Don't drop it. Don't even stream. You can stream if they're against an even worse team, but yeah, stay away from that defense. Enough said. No fancy value. That's all for the NFC South. Now it's time for the NFC East, one of my favorites.